let's get it right.
Yeah, right. Well, because let's say in Butzi is where we use a lot of the elbows. We do it in the early programs, but from contact, from here we go straight into our strikes or fucks our strikes. But we have 3 or 4 main elbows. One's a hacking elbow, one's a butting elbow, one's an overhead elbow. Then we've got extra elbows that we use going upwards as well. And you just combine them. Always again following that looping formation I was telling you about. So, you know,
that's
we use that in our chisa to deviate, and then we add in other punches or elbows as we close into the opponent.
Yeah, that's where Wing Chun and 52 share a lot of common moves. You know, that would be a closed door for us, but it's still an elbow strike. Then we have something called revolving door, which is kind of like that axe elbow. We even have an elbow for the body, which would be gangster shuffle. We're using the sides of the elbow, the point, the inside. You catch a slap with the elbow. So we're using all area of the elbow more than just where Muay Thai is kind of used. Just all they want is the point. Which is nothing bad with that. It's great work. You know, I don't want no Muay Thai fighters trying to challenge me. I'm just saying, we, as in 52, we're going to slap with the elbow, poke with the elbow. You know, the gangster shuffle can be like a rush with the elbow. We can rush in behind it, you know, just to unfold. Like we'll come here just to unfold into a grab, you know, because we do have a lot of work as far as the middle to the short range. Outside the range, 52 is more like hand feints and blocks. Like if we're out here, you know, you getting that the deception. You know, maybe you'll be able to block a couple of strikes, but the key is to get in and you know do your dirty work from there and kind of like stab them with the dagger, like you know, close range.
Yeah, it's a little bit similar to Wing Chun. Obviously, they work more on bridges, but that's what they call it, more Q, they call it from the Chun Q form. And from the longer range, we have to work these bridges here before we can step in and get into this range here. So the only problem is that if you don't train it properly, which is a fallacy sometimes with Wing Chun practitioners, they go really rigid, 1, 2, looking for the target to block. Whereas if you're a bit more freer with your handwork, your footwork, right, and you develop a little bit like the way they do in boxing. If you're throwing your strikes or you're keeping your guard up, your guard, even if you're at a certain distance, changes. It's never fixed like this. And we never punch like this, traditionally speaking. I don't know why people think this, but you know, I mean, that is one of the most important punches we use. But as soon as I come into contact, he becomes almost like a hook, and we got all these types of strikes that come into our systems. Right? And you're doing this, and all of a sudden it doesn't look like this anymore. You know what I'm saying? So depends how you learn your Wing Chun if you're doing it properly. What I've done over the years is try to make the wooden dummy training more similar to as if I was working on a bag, right? So I get my guys when to train, I say, look, you know, do it very softly, don't kill yourself, you're not here to smash our arms. And work as if you're working in back. Keep your close range or your long or your medium range, right? With leg works, all right, knees, whatever it is. And then from here, your techniques that happen, like your Tan Sao, your Man Sao, okay, your Bomb Sao, etc. Just those 3 main techniques there. Let's add in also the Pak Sao. They should follow the flow of movement that you would do when you were otherwise attacking a person. Right? So that's how I do that stuff. And we have techniques. And that's how your chisa starts to get developed. So when you feel the obstacle, you don't get blocked. You have to follow through. You know? And work this way. then slowly, there's a lot of stuff that I could add as far as body mechanics are concerned, but that's your main stuff. And it's very different to seeing this traditional format.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with it, because there's a lot of work behind this. But when you fight freestyle, you've got to know how to use the wood dummy as well. Almost like a sparring partner, you know what I mean? And that's something that a lot of guys don't do, that they should do, from my perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Because the freestyle, like you said, meeting the resistance and going around it is something that you're probably going to encounter. If you're tangling with a real person, you're not going to see it more than you're going to feel it and then have to work off of it, which is great. Yeah. I had my Wing Chun days. So. I love one thing I love about Wing Chun is the sensitive arm, the sticky arm, and to me, that works well with us boxers when we're here trying to jockey for short range. The ability to know how to feel something and shoot off of it is priceless. And close quarter fighting. Most boxers, they just grab and they don't know what to do from here. And I work right off the grab. Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah. By grabbing, it's a sense of security because it cuts off the power, the other guy's power, you know?
Yeah.
So you're in a safe spot there, but then you don't know what to do otherwise, unless you start headbutting the guy. But the main source that one has to try and develop in Wing Chun is, like I said, if we're at close range, try and develop really explosive power at a very short distance. Because then when you come in closer grappling range, I want to have maximum power from here to here. If you don't have a good body connection, it's hard work. A lot of people force through their arms, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the tension, like that's one thing I like about the sticky arm is trying to remove as much tension from your arm to, like when you're about to, if you're in a car crash, I noticed, like even with me, when I was about to crash my car, I stiffed up and then I relaxed. And I started turning into the turns. And it probably saved me more than like you get this stiff arm.
What sort of a crash was it?
I was doing 360s in the rain. My back tire was kind of bald and it was my fault. I should have changed it. And when this 360 started, I went here first. Like I was on the steering wheel, elbows locked out, but then I caught myself and I started to turn the steering wheel with the turns, and I was able to come up out of the 360 by turning with it. And that's what they actually tell you in the driver's course, is to turn into the turn. But at first I wasn't going to do it. I went stiff, like you said, like that first second of pressure is like, and then I had to catch myself, like, relax, or you're going to make this worse. So that's what I like about Chi Sao too, is that once you start grappling with a person, you may get this stiff approach, but if you've been Chi Sao long enough, you can let it go and then get to work and get to understanding what's happening.
Yeah, it definitely helps you relax your muscles. But it also builds up another type of tension and increased elastic tension.
Dynamic.
It is elastic,
Yeah, dynamic.
That's